Hi, welcome along to the AFTV Tactical Insight Show with my man Graham. That handshake good enough for you today?
Just about.
All right, solid handshake, man.
Unlike the team.
We're going to get into the team, of course, discussing the debacle. I keep forgetting it was a draw, right? Because to me, it didn't feel like a draw, it felt like a defeat. And that was even with us getting a last-minute equaliser.
Didn't celebrate in the stadium.
Hardly anyone celebrated. They were just like, hey, right? And I've noticed your title today, Emery, a dead man walking. Now, at the time of recording this show, he's still in a job. I don't know how. And I think that, I possibly think that performance on Saturday is amongst the worst performance I have ever seen at the Emirates Stadium.
Not bad.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a worse one. I remember when we got, and somebody said this to me on Saturday when I said it.
How far do you go back?
No, Emirates. The Emirates. Right back to the start of the Emirates. Not Highbury. Yeah. Right back to the start of the Emirates Stadium. Yeah. I feel that is probably one of the worst performances when you take into context who we're playing. I remember that time we lost to Swansea. That was a poor. 1-0. When it was, I've forgotten the name of that Spanish guy who scored. Yeah. That was bad, right? But that was kind of a...
I don't even think it was a Spanish guy. I think it was it Boney or somebody?
Is it Michu?
No, it wasn't Michu. It was a late goal.
There was one game when they beat us with Michu, wasn't it? Michu?
Yeah, they beat us 2-0 with Michu.
That's the one. Yeah.
Oh, that one.
That was poor. But I think this, when you put into context the fact that we're playing Southampton, they're like literally at the bottom of the table. Yeah. They got beaten 9-0 by Leicester. They can't buy a win. When's the last time they won a game?
September.
Right? You know what I mean? And it was the manner of the performance that they dominated the game. Yeah. And they missed so many easy chances that they should have been out of sight. We didn't deserve to get anything from that game. Nothing. What was that all about, Graham? You put Emery dead man walking. I think that's right. Explain.
I think I said on the Same Old Arsenal podcast last night, I do a podcast with Craig Scott, Lee Judges and Dan Potts. And I was saying last night, I hate to see us like this. I absolutely hate to see us like this. We got a manager,
tough times.
A manager who's effectively, as I said, dead man walking. We got overcoached players not playing with any confidence. That was a bit clear. And we got people above Emery seemingly quite happy with us not being relevant as a big club, willing to accept mediocrity on the pitch, and that's the most damning indictment that it looks like.
If he was in charge at any other top club around Europe, with the record he's had, and this is not just this season, when we take into account how the last season finished, the last, say, 8 weeks of last season and the final, and how we started this season, he would be gone a long time, wouldn't he? I couldn't believe that he survived after Leicester. And then, I was then trying to be positive and talking up and saying, right, the one thing I really want to see is now that he's been given a second chance in effect, right, and the vote of confidence, just go for it. You've got nothing to lose.
And he said that.
Just go for it. Yeah. Let's just see. Let's attack. First thing I see with the team, no Pepe in it. Yeah. So I'm like, he's not going for it. He's not attacking. Then I see the formation. I mean, you've put 3-4-1-2.
Yeah, it was.
I'd rather call it a 5 at the back. That's what it seemed to me for a lot of the game.
It was 5 at the back, and I'll explain why shortly. I think the worrying thing for me, first of all, is two things. One, that the hierarchy, I think he's Raul's man. I think that's the problem. Raul appointed him, and Raul, he sees him as his man, so it's difficult for Raul to pull the trigger, I think, because he fundamentally sees him as his man.
So Gazida's appointed him?
Well, Gazida's got him, but he's Raul's man. I think that has become clear. The Spanish connection, I think Raul might have had some say in it. I honestly believe that, and I think it's well known he's Raul's man, and I think that is the problem we've got. The problem I've got with the club is that they're willing to accept this mediocrity. Are they not worried how we're looking to the outside world? We're a big club. We're a big club in name only, not big on the pitch at the moment. Are they just willing to allow that to happen? And it's a sad indictment if they are. As for Emery, on Saturday, when I got to the ground, I read his programme notes, because obviously fascinating to read his notes as ever. And he said he wanted to reconnect with the fans by building, connecting with the fans through playing better football and winning games and getting the supporters back on side. But this clearly is a manager, right, who's basically struggling with. We talk about the players lacking confidence. I think he's lacking confidence in himself. And the team are playing with fear, Robbie. I see it every week. The team are playing in fear. We were playing Southampton. Southampton, the first thing I noticed about Southampton play with a 5 at the back. Southampton play with a back 5. They went to a 4-3-3 against us. And we went to the back 5. We went 3 plus the wing backs, 3-4-1-2. So in effect, you would think that Southampton would be playing that formation, and we'd be playing that formation, or we'd be playing 4-2-3-1. But
4-3-3, which we should be playing.
Yeah, and when
bold. And I heard Ward-Prowse in his interview say that, you know what, we said we're gonna have a go at Arsenal. That's the team at the bottom of the table, literally 1 point off the bottom of the table. That if results could have went against them, right, and everyone was expecting them to lose that game, and results go against them, right, they'd be bottom of the table, and they're having a go. Their manager is under serious pressure. He's like shipped 9 goals at home. He's had a run of defeat since then, right? His job is like hanging on an absolute thread.
Yeah.
And he's brave enough to go 4-3-3, right? And our guy, right? He's cowardly how he's setting us up at the moment. Yeah. He's just setting us up. He's scared. We got to be real with this. You know what I mean? He's scared. That is a brave manager. That is a manager saying, my job's on the line, but you know what? I'm going to back myself and have a go. And it nearly worked for him.
Yeah, and their record going into this game is they were 19th on the table. They conceded 23 in their last 7. They'd lost 6 of their last 7. Hadn't won in the Premier League since September. But let's not forget our record. He's only won 2 of his last 11 Premier League games.
We're at home.
And we've won 6 of our last 20. I regret that. But I'm just saying,
could you ask for an easier game?
No.
After an international break, which both teams have been on, could you ask for an easier game than Southampton at home?
No, they couldn't. And I think what I'm going to talk about is how we started the game, because I think having gone with this 3-4-1-2, you need certain things to play out well when you play that system. And I talked about last week about the fact that there has to be sort of like, when you remember we're playing up from the back, there has to be sort of like aggressive running off the ball. There has to be a lot of movement off the ball ahead of you, and you need to build play through the centre of the pitch. Ultimately, building play out from the back through the centre of the pitch, getting your wing backs high to connect with. But it's all about positioning. Positioning is very important in this formation. And whether these players don't get the positioning, or whether the way the game planned out, they couldn't find the positioning, that was the problem in the first half. Because first of all, I noticed when we played Leicester City away last week, he asked Bellerin and Tierney to stay high a lot of the time. They stayed high to receive the ball when we were in possession. But in this game, the reverse. And bear in mind we're at home. So he wanted Tierney and Bellerin to help with the play out from the back from these 3 guys. So every time Leno took it short to Socrates or to Luiz or to Chambers, the message seemed to be, watching it from where I was, and I sit with my son, Cameron, we sit sort of like up high, just above where the players come out. So you can see the formations, you can see the space quite clearly when you're up high. So whenever these 3 players were receiving the ball and the play out from the back, the message seemed to be Chambers would go to Bellerin, or Socrates would go to Tierney. So basically what he's got
here... Tried to. They both tried to, but nearly every time they lost the ball or it got intercepted or he didn't get, or they had to pass it back. We weren't making no progress.
Let me explain to you, Robbie, right? So if you're gonna play with this formation, with these sort of tactics, let's get it right. At the very least, get it right. So the moment Bellerin or Tierney receives the ball out from either Chambers or Socrates or Luiz, when they're playing up the back, they're coming short to receive the ball. What's going to happen, right? What's going to be the pressing trap they're going to set? Redmond is going to come onto Bellerin, and probably Inks, I think it was, is going to come onto Tierney. Or no, it's Armstrong. Beg your pardon, Armstrong. Armstrong would come onto Tierney. Armstrong, yeah, what do you mean? Sorry, Armstrong come to Tierney. So you've got like that was their pressing trap. Armstrong would move on to Tierney if he had the ball, and Redmond would move on to Bellerin. So what you're then looking for in that situation, bearing in mind, I think his whole strategy in the first half was to use the flanks. Remember, since he's been at Arsenal, he's only ever wanted to go down the flanks. Why has Mesut Ozil not been successful in an Arsenal shirt? Because we don't play centrally. We don't play centrally. Now, when he's got Ozil in the team, what he needs here, when Bellerin and Tierney have got the ball, he needs his centre mids, right, to find a half space, to come and get the ball. Because in a lot of the game, you can see it up high, there was lots of spaces around here. So they're pressing onto Bellerin. Say the press is Redmond onto Bellerin. The half space is around there, right? So what you need then is Torreira or Guendouzi. Torreira's on the right side. He needs to come to receive the ball. But he's occupied, not aware of needing to come into that space. He doesn't get away from his marker. So what does Bellerin do? He's got no choice then. He either tries to beat the press by going around Redmond, or he plays it back to Chambers. And I'd say Bellerin didn't look sharp on Saturday. He doesn't look over his ACL injury.
He looked very poor.
But he kept going back to Chambers. So basically, the other thing that was happening was that players were running into lines. So we were sort of like, when we were attacking, we had players blocking lines. So we had like Ozil, who should be central. He was often drifting out into this area, blocking the line of Tierney. So what you want is, ideally, you want the ball to go into your centre mids, one centre mid to be driving on. Then eventually you want to bring your fullbacks in high to connect with your forward players. But when your fullbacks, you're not going into the middle, and you're just sort of like, your fullbacks are not breaking the press and going backwards, and you're only relying on one tactic to go down the flanks, that's your only attacking output, you're going to struggle to create. And that's why in the first half we only had 3 shots at goal, Robbie. 2 from the one action where we scored, and funny enough, it was when we got Ozil on the ball central that he got it out wide to Tierney, and Tierney put the cross in, and it came to Aubameyang, who had the shot that bounced off, I think it was Stevens. And
so that was one of the shots on target? That was one of the shots in the game? The Aubameyang one?
The Aubameyang was one of our 3 shots in the first half.
That doesn't even really count, does it?
I'm just making the point that that basically when you play how the system should work, you can make it work.
They had 10 shots, by the way.
They had 10 shots
in the first half.
And we started the game sloppily. If you remember, Tierney lost the ball up, and they had a shot from that. But they were quite aggressive at the top, as you said. Ward-Prowse said that they thought they could hurt us, and they pressed high right from the start. So they pressed out of possession, but they pressed onto our fullbacks, stopped our fullbacks. I think he should have looked at that and sent a message to Torreira and Guendouzi. They should have been looking to get into the half spaces to connect with Mesut Ozil, then to get the fullbacks high, the wing-backs high, and then look to get Lacazette and Aubameyang on the ball. The other thing is that Lacazette and Aubameyang were isolated a lot in this game, and often having to drift out wide into those wide areas to get the ball. I think really in this system, I think Lacazette's got to be like a focal point. Instead of coming out, he's got to sort of like be in here to receive the ball. And him and Aubameyang got to connect. They've got to play close together and connect with Ozil in behind. We don't see that because for some reason, some goddamn reason, Emery just wants to go down the flanks. And I think we had massive possession in this game, 61% to their 39. But as you said, they had 21 shots to our 12. They had more touches in the box with less possession and more corners than us. So first half, we got caught with that free kick, and I want to talk about that because that was absolutely shocking. But I think our attacking output struggled because all we wanted to do was to use our fullbacks down the flanks, and they just kept setting pressing traps to stop that, and we just kept going backwards, and there was no connection with the centre mids. That was the problem in the first half. Now the goal, have you seen it on Twitter?
I haven't watched back the game. I can't watch it. I watched it at the game. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I need a couple of days before I watch it back, man. And particularly that one. But I remember the goal.
Yeah.
Right, and they're all sleeping.
Yeah.
It's a quick free kick. Some people were saying the ball was rolling, by the way.
It was. Right,
so it should have been pulled back. What's VAR for and that? But regardless of that, you play to the whistle, right? Luiz was looking at the keeper, wasn't he?
He was.
We got 5 players at the back, yeah, and they still get done by a quick free kick. I mean, my God.
I think it was it Redmond who was fouled by Chambers?
Yeah.
So obviously, and then it's Bertrand who comes up and takes the free kick. Now I was looking at the line on Saturday. Again, a good position to see it. Bellerin is looking to his left. Chambers is looking towards the keeper, as is Luiz, who's pointing. Socrates has got his hand out to the left, looking the other way, and Torreira is pointing. None of them are focused on the ball. You always play the whistle and you look at the ball, don't you? And they all do, it's schoolboy stuff. And they just got in, and Inks just tucked it in off the post. And to be honest with you, they nearly got a second. I think Inks had another shot that went over the bar. And that first, and I think the natives were getting restless, weren't they, in the stadium? You could feel it. And then we crafted that equaliser with Ozil playing in Tierney, the cross. And Lacazette, I just want to pay tribute to him. Whatever you think about these players not playing for the manager, and my son Cameron said it on Saturday, these players are not playing for the manager. And when he says that, I was quite shocked when he said that, but he said it to me quite early. But Lacazette was the one guy who I thought was giving.
Fine, didn't he?
He even got booked wrongly for chasing back. I thought that was a fair tackle.
Yeah, fair tackle. He lost the ball, chased back, won it back. That's what you want to see when it's not going well. You want to see character. And he showed a lot of character. And he really did.
I think him and Tierney.
And obviously, you know what I mean? And again, that's what we've been relying on all season. Either this guy or this guy to dig us out of our hole with brilliance. And it's not good enough.
No, and I think that he's only scored 2 in his last 19 games, obviously going through a bit of a barren spell, but it's not through lack of effort. I think he's been struggling with the injury. But his effort on Saturday and his finishing was top class.
And you saw at the end it hurt him because he wasn't even celebrating, or he wasn't. You know, he knew.
So we got back to 1-1, Robbie. That was the half-time score. But now he then changed the formation to what, in effect, I thought we should have gone with at the start: 4-2-3-1. So he immediately takes off Chambers. We take him off. And he brings on to. I'll move that. That is now Pepe has now moved in the right. That's Pepe. So we just write Pepe in. So Pepe's come on here. Apologies for the writing. Lacazette has come central. Aubameyang's gone out to the left now. So Aubameyang's gone out to the left. Lacazette's come central. In fact, I'm going to rub that out and redo it properly. This is live. Now Pepe. So there's Pepe. So. Now, what did that immediately do the second half?
It's a threat.
Well, more than that, we looked more coordinated, and we started to use the centre of the pitch, which we hadn't done in the first half. And immediately, Emery said, strangely, that was the best 20 minutes at the start of the second half all season. I thought it was good, but I didn't. If that's our best 20 minutes, well, but we immediately created chances, didn't we? Aubameyang had a shot that was saved by the keeper's legs. Pepe, who hit a shot into the ground that cannoned off the bar.
And he should even have scored. Pepe, when he was through, he tried to square it.
And we looked better because we started to connect in the half space through to the centre of the pitch to Ozil. So Ozil started getting on the ball a bit more. Ozil, 11 duels in that match, 8-1. He created chances, 5 chances created, most of them in the second half, 3 successful dribbles and 2 tackles. So he got more effective in the second half, and I thought he had a reasonably good game. But he started to get more centrally on the ball. We started to look better offensively for that 20 minutes. And they sort of like, in that first half, they were pressing up high. I think they started to move more to a deep block as the game went on, because, but they were still dangerous on the counter. And then, obviously, we had a good 20 minutes. Poor execution, obviously, we didn't take the lead. And then, of course, they get the penalty. What did you think of the penalty?
Well, again, I ain't watched it back, but I was behind it. I was sitting somewhere else, right, and I didn't think that was a penalty. I thought it was so soft. It was unbelievable. Their player, how you can always tell is the player. He went down, he just sort of went, and then the referee out of nothing. I mean, you've watched it back. Was it a penalty?
Well, I think it was soft. I think it's, and the telling thing is that their player did not appeal for the penalty.
He didn't appeal.
That's the telling thing.
It was ridiculous.
And then they go to VAR, don't they?
I'm tired of this VAR.
And then,
just get rid of VAR. I've had enough of that as well.
And then just to really rub salt into the wounds, Leno saves the spot kick.
Saves it, yeah.
First ever we saved it. I think that's the first one he saved, but he goes straight back out to Ward-Prowse, who puts it in. 2-1. And
then after that, Graham, let's have it right. They should have won the game. All right, I know we're going gun-ho trying to get the equaliser, but they had about 3 or 4 chances. And again, I say we were going gun-ho, but some of those chances, I mean, what Socrates was doing in that game, I don't know what he was up to. I mean, he had an absolute nightmare. You know, and again, Graham, I've got to put it down to the manager, because he's insisting on these guys playing out from the back, even though he knows they're not good at it, right?
I agree with that.
We spend most of the game in our own half.
Yeah.
We don't transition it up to the players that can. I mean, that first goal, it was a long ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That went out to then You know,
But we got Ozil on the ball and it went out wide.
I'm baffled. We've seen it all season. Playing out from the back constantly is not what is. There's no plan at
And
Arsenal.
I don't know if you noticed, I think Dan Potts, who's on the same with Arsenal, he sits in the North Bank. He brought it up last night on the podcast. Shout out to him. He said where he sat with his dad, he noticed that Emery was gesturing to Guendouzi to go into a position, and Lacazette was saying no, Tierney, and Lacazette was saying no, don't. So basically, Lacazette was disagreeing with the manager. And that tells you everything. The players don't trust or believe in this manager anymore. It's dead when you see that. And when players are starting to question...
Professional footballers that have played at a lot of them have played at very high levels under top managers. Yeah, they're not stupid. We as fans are saying it. Can you imagine them when they're in the training, at the training ground, in the changing rooms? When he's not around, they're probably knocking each other and saying, "Hey, this guy ain't got a clue, man."
I just think they're being overcoached.
And so why is Nicolas Pepe? We've been open for years to buy a big name player, right? Whether you think he's performed this season or not, we bought this guy and he's on the bench.
Can I just say two things?
What is this about? I don't.
Yeah, I will come on to the Pepe thing, and I want to talk about recruitment, right, as well as the manager being crap, for want of a better word. Now, he's coaching the quality out of certain players, like Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Ozil. Coaching the quality out of quality players. And Torreira, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't. How can he coach Luiz, Socrates, maybe even Chambers? I know he hasn't been bad this season, but when you've got bang average centre halves, how can you coach them to be better? It's not Emery's fault, Robbie, that they did what they did at that free kick. Whatever you think, it's not Emery's fault that Luiz has only had 2 good games this season. But he can take him out of the team.
I think it is his fault because I think the same way in which he took Ozil out, very quick to take Ozil out. Yeah. If this. Mourinho, I didn't really want Mourinho at Arsenal. I didn't. I would have took him over Emery. I said if it was down to Emery or Mourinho, I'll take him.
He's got no value.
But he's not really what I want at Arsenal, right? I want a young, hungry manager, Nagelsmann, someone like that.
But we're agreeing.
The one thing I do know about Mourinho, yeah, if he's picking you week in, week out, and you are not performing, you're out. If you're not executing the plan that he wants, you're out. Now these guys are not executing it. He's got to change it up, or it's his job to get them organised.
Drill them.
And also, I don't see, I never see these guys dropping back in to help them either. He does it for Uruguay.
Outstanding.
So why is he not doing it for? Again, you've got to put it down to the coach, and I just feel that time is up.
I think
dead man walking, like you said.
I think it's a combination of 2 things. It's a combination of.
They're not the greatest. We know that. No. They're not the greatest, and we know.
Remember, he's a coach. He's how many of these players? Whoever sanctioned the move for Luiz should be sacked. Lee Judges said it last night. Brilliant comment. Whoever sanctioned the move for Luiz.
I bet you
whoever sanctioned the move for Socrates should be sacked, right? What Emery's got, he's got these players to work with. He's the coach. He doesn't pick the players, Robbie. And he obviously got no confidence in playing Chambers and Holding. Holding, remember, also coming back from an ACL injury. So that's his problem. So the players that have been bought for him as a coach are not good enough.
That's true. But let me ask you this question.
Listen, let me finish. And you keep taking me in a different direction.
Sorry.
Let me finish, right? The players that he's been bought for him are not good enough, right? And they have wasted £72 million on Pepe. Now, I think Nicolas Pepe is a great player. His record in the French league last year was excellent. Only Messi and Ronaldo scored more goals and assists. But it's not what this team needed at the start of the season. What we needed was a strong physical centre-half, a powerful centre-half, a quality player in that area. It's what Arsenal...
But that's what they were trying to get the guy from Leipzig, and he's just not available, is he?
I'm just saying, but you find someone.
Yeah.
And you can do deals over 4 or 5 years. Koulibaly, for example. You test the water, but you make that your priority. At least show some ambition. Recognise the weaknesses in your team. Centre half was a key area. They haven't addressed it. Centre mid, haven't addressed it. Torreira's okay, and we have been messing him around. What we needed was another physical central midfielder, someone who could shield the defence, someone like an Ndidi, Robbie. Last week, he showed me everything we lack in our midfield. Somebody, if you're going to play Ozil and these two, Play 2 physical DMs.
Exactly, that's what I've been always saying. 2
do
shields.
It. So you got your. Would you?
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Robin. Don't sit on the fence. Would you rather have Van Dijk there and not Aubameyang up front, or would you rather have Aubameyang and Luiz in your team?
I think you'd have to go Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Van Dijk is the sort of player we've needed for years. When Van Dijk was at Celtic, I was saying on my transfer dailies, why don't we buy him?
Right. So listen then. So they went out and spent 72 million on Pepe. We had Iwobi and Mkhitaryan. Not the greatest quality, but you remember if Iwobi had been playing like Pepe's been playing in games this season, we would be all over him, slaughtering him. We've seen it on the fan channel in the past.
Well, Iwobi got more of a chance than Pepe.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, we've got good young players, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you think, and there's almost like an argument now to throw these young players in.
But let me put this to you.
Martinelli came on, made a difference, created the second goal,
Yeah.
and him and Willock made an influence on that game. Willock defensively saved his job, Willock. Whatever the fans think about it, he saved his job with that clearance. And Martinelli was very busy out wide and got the cross in. We have got younger players who could fill this role and allow him to spend, or the club should have spent the money here and here.
We all know we should have spent on
recruitment.
defence. Terrible recruitment. But also, let me ask you this question, and you are right. These guys are average defenders, yeah? However, I also want to ask you this question before we go, yeah? Do you think if Socrates, David Luiz, Chambers were playing for Chris Wilder at Sheffield United, because I don't see them with they haven't got Upamecano in defence. They haven't got, they have Phil Jagielka playing against Manchester United, yeah? And look how organised they are. Why can't this guy get it? I mean, even Leicester, who've got the best defence in the league, right? I've got Johnny Evans, who lots of Arsenal fans are like, Johnny Evans, no chance, when we were linked to him. And Sionku is the other guy we were linked to. Those two, they lost Maguire. And they got the best defence. And you know why that is? Because the manager organises them. They are drilled. They are drilled to play out from the back. They are drilled to when to go long. They are drilled how to, and there's a good protection in front of them, right? I know these guys are not the best, but I still don't think it is enough excuse for what we are seeing defensively from Arsenal. Sorry. To me, why is he insisting on guys that are not great at playing out from the back? Playing out from the back. Play to people's strengths. And he's not doing that. And I think that is the main reason why defensively we're so poor.
Well, we're defensively not poor for so many reasons that we'd probably be all bloody day. but the point being is, we can't play out from the back. So why are you asking these players to play out from the back? Answer to your question, and I'm not disrespecting Sheffield United, and I think Chris Wilder's done a fantastic job at Sheffield United. Those players, to a man, work hard off the ball, right?
So why did? So
it's not just
the minimum he should have us then working hard off the ball.
Yeah.
They've got one of the best defences. I think the second best defence in the Premier League, Sheffield United.
Right. So when you're Sheffield United,
with players that these are not household names, Lundstrom and these guys are, like you said, they're hard-working players. Why can't he get these guys performing like that?
Because first of all, when they come into the Premier League, they come up to step up. They know they've got to be organised.
Why is Johnny Evans playing that and David Luiz is playing like how he is and Socrates is playing like he is?
Right, because I think the answer is, first of all, these players are very experienced players. They only know how to play one way. I think that's one thing. They're playing for Arsenal. The expectations at Arsenal are not, even though he's been trying to turn us into Burnley, right? The expectation at Arsenal is not to be all the things that you just said. Sheffield United are that way because they appreciate that they've got to work hard and their defenders have got to be drilled. They've got to play to their strengths to get results.
So do we.
Yes, but Arsenal, you've got to play better. I know the manager's not getting
You're
the
the head coach and you know that you've got defenders that are not the best defenders around, right? So you've got to adopt the same policy. You've got to work hard. You must not switch off. You must be at it all throughout the game, right? That's why he's their remember, he ain't the manager, he's their head coach.
But he's been given these players.
He's not coaching them.
No,
he's not coaching these guys.
He's not coaching them.
They're not good enough.
No, they're not good enough. They're not good enough.
But they're better than what he's making them look.
Are they? I mean? Are they?
I think they are.
Why did Lampard get rid of Luiz?
He got rid of Luiz because he felt that Luiz, for what he wants to do, is not good enough. I understand that.
Look at Chelsea's team at the moment. They are playing great football, Lampard's, but their weakness is in centre of defence.
I bet you any money if we would have got Johnny Evans, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah, and Luiz could not get into that central defence for Chelsea. So that tells you.
Yeah, but let me, as I said, I'm spinning it back on you with this.
No,
if we would have got Johnny Evans, would it have been the same? Or would he be performing like what you see him at Leicester?
Look, I think it's a collective issue. You can't look. These players. It's a number of
He's
things.
not getting the best out of him, Graham.
No, maybe. But I just think he hasn't got the team structured right in front of him. I've said that. You need a powerful central midfielder. It needs to be better organised in front of these defenders. These defenders, it's no secret that they drop off all the time because they've got no confidence to go forward because they've got no confidence in us sort of like when we press from the front. So we don't press from the front now, so they're always dropping off. No confidence in the midfielders in front of them. And they have no confidence in their ability on one-on-one races, Robbie. All right, so they're not good enough.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to have to end the show now. I'm sure all you guys will be there arguing along with us. Before I go, Graham, simple question, yes or no, in or out? Does he stay or does he go, well, would you sack him or would you keep him? Yes or no?
He's got to
go. You guys out there would love to hear from you guys. Does Emery stay or does he go? I don't know. At the time of doing this video, he's still our manager. But do you think he should stay or do you think he should go? When you see how Graham's broken this down, it does make a very damning case against him. But we'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to AFTV. Don't forget, if you're looking to get any merch, get along to our store. Stuff like this is available right now. Black Friday coming up this week.
Robbie.
So there's a big Black Friday sale. We're going to have to hook you up with some stuff, man.
Why not? But look, you haven't asked me who I want as manager.
Who do you want as manager?
Yeah.
Who?
Right, so I think I want a manager who can develop players.
Chris Wilder?
No. I want a manager.
You're better than him?
My choice would be Pochettino just to piss the Spurs fans off. But no, more seriously, I'd want Nagelsmann, who's doing wonders at Leipzig, or the Dutch, the Ajax manager.
Ten Hag.
They represent
progressive managers
who develop players and play a style of football. I know.
Allegri?
Allegri, Allegri is there as well because of his CV. But the only problem with the Dutch manager Ajax is he's going to go to Bayern Munich, right? So and he wants to go to Germany. But Nagelsmann, a young manager who's going to make players better. What he's done to Thibaut Werner this year, turned him back into a top striker. He's got Upamecano, hasn't he, at the centre half, and the players are playing great football. They're high up in the Bundesliga. I know Bundesliga is a weaker league, but a manager who believes in playing with a philosophy and improves players. Whereas I think Emery's indictment is he has overcoached and doesn't improve. Where he's got great players and he can't make them play to their ability. Robbie.
All right, let us know.
Literally, I had 1 minute on that card. I was like,
I can see it flashing. I can see it flashing.
I was like, yo,
Plus,
what was that, 30 minutes?